Have you ever stopped to think about how many things in your life you once believed you needed, until you realized you just wanted them? The market sells you products, but what it truly trades are emotions disguised as urgencies. And the more sophisticated the world becomes, the harder it is to tell the difference between a real need and a desire wrapped in storytelling. Modern consumption doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't convince you with logic, it seduces you with sensations. Suddenly, what was just an upgrade turns into something essential for a good life. And you believe it, because marketing doesn't have to lie, it just has to make you feel incomplete. Today, we're ranking the 10 most powerful illusions that make you confuse wanting with needing. Those subtle ideas that sound like financial wisdom but are really emotional tricks, keeping you buying, dreaming, and constantly feeling like something's missing. So hit that like button and get ready, because maybe what you call modern life is just a collection of desires with an expiration date. 10. The "I deserve it" illusion. This is the seed behind almost every emotional purchase. You work hard, you meet goals, and your brain whispers, you deserve a treat. But that treat becomes a habit, and the reward turns into an addiction. The "I deserve it" is the most elegant way to justify an impulse. Because deep down, desire disguises itself as necessity to feel legitimate. You're not buying to have something, you're buying to feel something. Relief, pride, compensation. And marketing knows it. It turns self-control into deprivation, and spending into self-care. You're not treating yourself, you're buying the illusion of balance. "I deserve it" is the most expensive argument your emotions ever invented. 9. The illusion of constant upgrading. We live in the era of infinite upgrades. Phones, clothes, gadgets, everything seems to have a new version before you've even enjoyed the one you have. And the worst part? You believe that falling behind is almost a modern sin. This is the illusion of progress disguised as necessity. You replace what still works because the world taught you that value lies in newness, not enoughness. But the new doesn't bring evolution. It brings the fleeting relief of not feeling obsolete. Brands feed this fear with surgical precision. Now 0.3 seconds faster. New smart camera. Updated model. All designed to remind you that your product still works, but your ego wants better. The addiction to upgrading is the modern way of putting your sense of satisfaction into debt. 8. The illusion of convenience. Have you noticed how everything today is sold with the promise of making your life easier? Ready meals, express delivery, apps that solve everything with one click. But slowly, convenience stops being comfort and turns into dependence. The illusion of convenience is subtle. It convinces you that saved time equals freedom, when in reality, it's just more time to consume something else. You pay not to think, not to cook, not to wait, and in the end, you realize comfort has become a cozy kind of prison. Marketing sells you time, but what it truly delivers is premium anxiety. Because the easier things are to get, the harder it becomes to feel their value. And the faster you satisfy a desire, the shorter the feeling of pleasure lasts. The convenience you buy is really the effort the market saves, and bills back to you in the form of boredom. 7. The illusion of personal investment. This is the modern era's favorite trick. Now, everything is an investment in yourself. A course, a gadget, a look, a trip. And yes, investing in yourself is important, but the problem is when it becomes a sophisticated excuse for emotional spending. You tell yourself you bought that thing, because it'll motivate you, because it's for your self-esteem, because it helps you perform better. But often, the product is just an elegant disguise for an emotional void, and the real investment goes straight into the brand's pocket. The market has learned that self-development is the new luxury. And deep down, you're not chasing growth, you're chasing approval, especially your own. Investing in yourself is noble, until the self you're investing in becomes just another name for consumption. 6. The illusion of scarcity. Last units available. For a limited time only. Exclusive to a few. Marketing figured out long ago that humans can't stand losing, even things they never wanted in the first place. The illusion of scarcity triggers a primal fear, the fear of missing out. And when that happens, desire changes shape. You no longer want the product, you want the sense of belonging it promises. This trick works so well it doesn't even need to be real. It just needs to look real. A countdown timer, a red warning label, a touch of urgency, and your brain, in survival mode, turns impulse into necessity. The irony? The product is still there, just a little more expensive now. And without noticing, you paid extra just to prove you're still part of the quick and conscious crowd. The fear of missing out makes you buy things that, if they really disappeared, you probably wouldn't even miss. 5. The illusion of emotional comfort. This one is the quietest of all, and maybe the most expensive. You buy to calm yourself. You buy to forget the day, to make up for the week, to feel in control. And you call it self-care, when in reality, it's emotional self-medication, with compound interest. The act of buying activates the same pleasure circuits in your brain as a hug or a compliment. Fast dopamine, instant gratification. But like every artificial relief, it fades, and the emptiness returns even bigger. The only difference now is that it comes with guilt and a new bill. The market knows this. That's why it sells feelings disguised as products. You don't buy a candle, you buy peace. You don't buy a perfume, you buy self-esteem. And in the end, what you're left with is a nice smell and an empty wallet. Emotional consumption is the only kind that makes you spend money chasing something money can't actually buy. 4. The illusion of the bare minimum. This is the most comfortable lie your brain tells itself. You say, I'm not overdoing it, it's just the basics. But today's basics come with Wi-Fi, a monthly subscription, and a 12-month installment plan with no interest. The concept of need has been hijacked. You think you need more space, more storage, more megapixels, more comfort, but what you actually need is an emotional boundary to define what's enough. Modern society turned the essential into a moving target. The more you achieve, the further away satisfaction feels. The minimum is always one step above what you currently have. And the market feeds on that. It knows your sense of necessity is flexible, especially when status is disguised as utility. When everything becomes a need, nothing is enough, and emptiness stops being an exception to become the norm. 3. The illusion of social deservedness. It's not enough to want something. The world has to see that you can have it. That expensive dinner to celebrate, the new outfit for the occasion, the latest phone to keep up with everyone else. You don't just buy for yourself, you buy to be seen. This is the illusion of social deservedness, the belief that money validates your place in the group. And marketing exploits it masterfully. It doesn't sell a product, it sells belonging, an invitation to feel included, even if you have to go into debt for it. The worst part? It works even on the most aware people. You might think you're immune, but the desire for recognition is one of the most expensive forces in human nature. And the market knows exactly how to price it. Status is a need born from fear, the fear of seeming less in a world that measures worth by appearance. 2. The illusion of financial control. This is the most dangerous illusion, because it looks like a virtue. You track your expenses, update your spreadsheets, adjust your budgets, and believe that's the same as being in control. But often, what you actually have isn't control, it's organized chaos. The credit card is still being used consciously, purchases are still planned, and emotional spending keeps wearing the mask of rational strategy. You think the problem is a lack of method, when in reality, it's an excess of justification. The market loves this kind of consumer, the one who believes they're too disciplined to fall for traps. They don't need to be manipulated, they just need to feel in charge. And while you compare rates, apps, and cashback offers, you keep spending just as much, only now with the comforting illusion that you're doing everything right. False financial control is the most sophisticated trick of all. It makes you believe that awareness equals freedom. 1. The illusion of buyable happiness. This is the mother of all illusions. The belief that money, somehow, can solve what is essentially existential. Advertising teaches you early on that every product is a promise of wholeness, that a new house will bring peace, a car will bring respect, and clothes will bring confidence. But the truth is, consumption never delivers what it promises. It only offers brief intervals of satisfaction. With every purchase, pleasure arrives fast, intense, and short-lived. And when it fades, you're left with the same emptiness as before, only now more expensive. This illusion is addictive because it feels rational. After all, it's better to cry in a luxury car, right? But anyone who says that has already understood the paradox. Comfort can soothe the pain, but never its cause. Money is excellent at fixing external problems, but useless at mending internal ones. And that's exactly why it keeps so many people moving, because promising happiness is far more profitable than delivering it. Happiness isn't in the things money can buy, it's in the peace of not needing to buy them. At the end of the day, modern consumption isn't about what you have, it's about what you feel while having it. The illusions that make you confuse desire with need don't actually want your money. They want your sense of lack. Because as long as you believe you need something to feel complete, someone will always have something to sell you. These illusions don't live in store windows, they live inside you. They feed on boredom, comparison, and the fear of being left behind. And the worst part? The world teaches you to call that a normal life. But normal has become such a perfectly designed system that even discomfort now comes with cashback. The real challenge isn't to stop desiring. It's to desire consciously, to understand what's impulse and what's purpose. Because money has no morals, it simply amplifies what you already believe is important. So next time you feel like you need something, pause and ask yourself, is it a real necessity or just an emotion wrapped in premium packaging? Because desire, when unrecognized, becomes debt, and self-awareness, when ignored, becomes a bill. Financial freedom isn't having enough to buy everything you want, it's having enough clarity not to want everything they sell as essential.